This is the COROS GPS Adventure Watch, the Icebreaker Edition, and this is everything you need to know about it. The folks over at COROS were kind enough to send me this watch for review, but this video is not sponsored. I've had the Vertix for over a month now, and I have some thoughts. The Vertix is a premium GPS watch, both in terms of price and materials. And as of a few days ago, COROS is now the watchmaker of choice for the world's fastest marathon runner, Eliud Kipchoge. If you've seen my review on the COROS Pace 2, then a lot of these features will seem familiar. If you haven't, I will link it up here and down here. Design. The design of the Vertix is premium with its choice of materials, more on that in a minute, yet rugged, and I for one think it looks great. Branding is minimal, with no unnecessary details on the glass. This is something that I complained about on the Pace 2. The Vertix is available in 5 colours, but you will pay a premium for this, the Icebreaker Edition. You can get versions with either nylon or silicone straps. Watch straps. The straps are 22mm and they are quick release. However, that quick release mechanism is proprietary. Whilst this might put some people off, I actually think that the mechanism is one of the best that I've used. It's less fiddly than standard quick release pins, and it's infinitely more satisfying when you attach the strap. I'm also a big fan of the captured loop near the buckle and the free floating loop that has a post on it to stop it moving around on the band. 2 loops are always better than 1 if you ask me, and the way they've been implemented here means that I'm not going to be searching for any third-party bands anytime soon. Additional colours are available from the COROS website. The watch body. This being the Icebreaker Edition, it's a little different from the standard Vertix. The Icebreaker Edition is made from a hand-assembled, translucent fibre frame with titanium bezel and back cover. The physical dimensions of the body are 47 by 47 by 15.6mm. Despite its reasonably chunky design, it only weighs 76 grams, making it the lightest GPS watch in its category. I personally usually struggle to wear anything that's too chunky, being as I have quite small wrists. But I have to say, this has been really comfortable to wear. Waterproofing. The Vertix is waterproof down to 15 ATM or 150 meters, which most people are never going to go down to. It also comes with rubber plugs to cover the charging port. These are provided to help protect the charging port from sweat, dust and dirt. You get 3 of them. Controls. The Vertix has 3 physical controls and 1 other. We'll talk about that in a minute. The Vertix features a dedicated light button. This is something that I really wanted on the Pace 2. A back/lap button, and the now signature COROS control, the digital dial. The back button is what you'd expect it to be. Its main function is to go back. But it also functions as a quick menu button with a long press. This can be customised in the app to contain shortcuts of your choosing. Its other function is to act as a lap button when you're running. It's also used to toggle through a few key metrics on the watch face. Things like your battery percentage, your steps for the day, and your heart rate. The light button is far more surprising. Only kidding. It turns the light on. Both buttons do exactly what you expect them to do, and they have a nice clicky feel. The third physical control is the digital dial. If you're not aware of the digital dial, it's a small rotating dial with a button press. It's similar to those you find on a traditional watch or the one you find on the Apple Watch. There is a bit of a learning curve when you're getting used to using the dial, but I found when I went back to a watch with an up and down button, I actually missed it. Having to press up and down multiple times through menus and long data sets actually seemed a little bit cumbersome compared to scrolling through them with the dial. The Vertix features a 50% bigger dial than other COROS watches, meaning that you can operate it much more easily when wearing gloves or if you've got sausage fingers. The screen. Made from sapphire glass with diamond-like coating, the Vertix features the same always-on LCD memory panel that is under the glass of the Pace 2. It's a 1.2-inch 240 by 240 pixel display that can display up to 64 colours. So other than the almost impossible to scratch glass on the Vertix, it's got the same screen as the Pace 2, right? Not exactly. The Vertix has one other key difference. It's got a touchscreen. Don't get carried away, however, the touchscreen is limited to only some of the features on the Vertix. And it's a kind of and control rather than an or control. Let me explain. I haven't always been a big fan of touchscreens on running watches, but here it's optional to use it, so why not? If you still prefer to operate the Vertix just using the physical buttons, then you can. The screen is very responsive, it's clear and easy to read even in direct sunlight. Battery life. I said in my Pace 2 review that the battery life on that was amazing. Well, this thing is bananas. It's taken the crown for the best battery life on any running watch or any smartwatch I've ever tested. From a full charge, I've been able to get 24 days of full usage. 24 days. That's including over 7 hours of GPS tracking, as well as 24/7 heart tracking and sleep tracking. At the time of recording, I've got 4% left on this watch. It needs a charge, but it still has an estimated 5 days of usage, as well as 2 hours of GPS time. It's mind-boggling. Stated battery life is up to 45 days of regular use. Now that's going to depend on how much GPS tracking you do and all the other features that you have turned on and off. I think you could easily get it. The Vertix also states that you could get up to 60 hours of GPS usage in the full mode, or up to 150 hours in its Ultramax mode. I haven't had a chance to test either of those, but I guess depending on the settings, you probably could. The Vertix takes around 2 hours to charge from dead to full. Charging cable. No surprises here, the charging cable is proprietary and it's too short. Based on my usage, I guess I'm only going to be using that cable about once a month. So maybe the bigger problem is making sure I don't lose it in between charges. Sensors. The Vertix features all the sensors you'd expect at this price point, including an optical pulse oximeter, an optical heart rate monitor, a barometric altimeter, an accelerometer, a compass, a gyroscope, and a thermometer. Accessory connection. The Vertix is Ant Plus and Bluetooth enabled. Activities. The Vertix is primarily an adventure-focused watch, meaning that most of its features are geared towards mountain-based sports. It has 24/7 blood oxygen monitoring, as well as a barometric altimeter. These two features combined allow you to monitor your ascent and give you an acclimatization evaluation. This allows the Vertix to suggest when it's safer to climb higher. I am, for the most part, a runner. I have climbed the 3 highest peaks in the UK, but that was some time ago. Therefore, I'm not even going to attempt to test any of those mountaineering features. And with that being said, what are the running features? For running, there are 4 options to pick from. They are run, trail run, indoor run, and track run. As in the Pace 2, the track run mode promises to give you more accurate GPS data when running on a track. It does this by using COROS's proprietary algorithm. As yet, I still haven't had a chance to test this feature. The indoor mode lets you set the speed of the treadmill or just run and calibrate it after the fact. In the 2 10k treadmill runs that I've done using the Vertix, I found it came up a little bit short on the distance. A little over 2k in fact. On both of these runs, I used the run first, calibrate after the fact approach. So whilst it's a little bit off-putting during the run, it doesn't really affect your stats overall, and I don't find it to be that big of an issue. If you do want a more accurate treadmill distance, I suspect that setting the speed before you run will give you a more accurate in-run distance. Trail running is something I do like to do, but it's winter here and I tend to only do that in the spring and summer months. The trails round near me are pretty treacherous in the winter and they're pretty steep. Suffice it to say, I haven't had chance to test this either. So let's move on to the standard running mode. If you want to keep things simple, you can simply start a standard open-ended run. This will track your GPS route, your cadence, your stride length, your elevation, your heart rate, your distance, your running power, and your elapsed time. You can add lap markers using the lap button, and you can pause the run at any point using the digital dial press. Hit it again to resume, and then when you want to end the run, pause it, rotate down to finish, and hold it in for 3 seconds. In the settings, you can turn on and set activity alerts for distance, pace, cadence, heart rate, nutrition, and unlike the Pace 2, power. You have similar customization as the Pace 2 in terms of what metrics are displayed, but on the Vertix you get an extra page. That's up to 6 data fields across 6 pages from 46 different data points, meaning on the Vertix you can display up to 36 different metrics at any one time on any activity. You can have the Vertix scroll through these pages automatically, you can use the digital dial, or on the Vertix you can use the touchscreen. The second option for the run feature, as on the Pace 2, is interval. Here you can set the number of intervals as well as the length of each interval, the rest period, and toggle on and off warm up and cool down. Where it gets really interesting with the Vertix is with navigation routes. Using the app you can save a route from a previous run, or you can import a .gpx file. You can then add these routes to the Vertix. You can store a total of 10 routes on the Vertix, and you manage which ones are stored on the watch using the app. If you want to know more about how to add routes to the Vertix, then check out my video that I just released on the COROS Wearables app. There's a complete walkthrough and it will show you exactly how to add routes to the watch. I will link it up here and down here. Once you have the routes loaded to the watch, you can then scroll through them on the watch and decide which of those you want to run. Once you pick the route you want to run, there are a few settings you can change. You can change the starting point direction, the map direction, and set a deviate course alert. You can also get the elevation details in here and start the route. When you start your run, you will see a map of your route as well as a north indicator. To zoom in on the map, single press the dial and scroll up or down to go in or out. You can then move around the route using the touchscreen. If you want to get back to your usual metrics, then you just scroll down and they will be displayed as normal. I should point out that if you want to pause your run or end your run, you need to make sure that you're not on the map screen and that you're on one of your regular metric screens. Otherwise you're going to go back into that zoom in and out feature. Of course, the Vertix isn't just about running and has a total of 25 activities for you to choose from, including a load of water sports activities that they recently added. GPS lock-on time. GPS lock-on time for the Vertix is pretty quick. On average in my testing it's taken about 8 to 10 seconds, and that's mostly been getting a signal indoors. It supports GPS, GLONASS, Beidou and Galileo. GPS accuracy. GPS is solid and it's consistent with my Garmin 245. In my testing I haven't found any significant issues with any of the routes produced by the Vertix. Workout programs and training plans. Workout programs and training plans can be downloaded directly from the COROS website and loaded onto the watch. Alternatively, you can create your own using the app. Again, check out my video on the COROS Wearables app to find out how to do that. Sleep tracking. Again, the Vertix is very similar to the COROS Pace 2 in terms of how the sleep tracking works. It seems pretty accurate and there's a reasonable amount of information for you to dig into. Smart features. The Vertix, like the Pace 2, isn't packed with smartwatch features, but it will handle push notifications and allow you to accept calls. You just can't take the calls on the watch. That pretty much covers what the Vertix can do, but what can't it do? Music. Don't expect any music features on the Vertix. In fact, don't expect any music features on any of the COROS watches. This is not something they seem to be focused on, so if you're adamant that you want music in your running watch, then I'm afraid you're going to have to go elsewhere. Payments. Payment features are becoming more and more common on running watches. And again, this is an area that COROS haven't got a focus on at the minute. So if you want a payment solution in your running watch, again, unfortunately, you're going to have to go elsewhere. To be honest, for me, it's no deal breaker. I've only had payment features on 2 devices that I've ever used. One was the Fitbit Charge 3 SE, and on that device I couldn't actually use it because my bank wasn't supported. The other being the TicWatch Pro 3, and I haven't had a chance to set that up. So I haven't missed it. So that pretty much wraps it up for the Vertix. What's the overall verdict? The COROS Vertix is a great running watch, but it's so much more than that. I've barely even scratched the surface of what this watch is capable of. I mean, you can scale mountains with this thing. Which leads me to the price. This watch is not cheap. The UK retail price of the standard model of the Vertix is 540 quid. And if you want this Icebreaker edition, it's going to cost you 629 quid. In the US, that's $600 for the standard model and $700 for the Icebreaker. This puts the Vertix up against some stiff competition. This puts it in the wheelhouse of the Garmin Fenix 6 series of watches. What you're paying for here is those extreme condition features. You can take this thing down to temperatures as cold as -20 degrees centigrade and up to temperatures as hot as 60 degrees centigrade. That's crazy. And don't forget, it's waterproof down to 150 meters. The other thing you're paying for is the premium build quality and materials. If you think it's too expensive and you're not going to use a lot of those mountaineering type features, then you get a lot of the core functionality on their Apex and Pace models. If you want the best of what COROS has to offer, then go for the Vertix. You won't be disappointed. I mean, it comes in a flaming rock hard case, for goodness sake. If you like this video, then give me a thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you would like more of this type of content, then hit that subscribe button. While you're down there, why not hit the bell? Otherwise, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.